Hello, my name is Pavi and I am back with one more new topic, I would say, of 12th class, that is assessment of psychological attributes. This topic is sometimes confusing to many students, so let's understand this slowly. ठीक है? तो सबसे पहले तो let me help you to understand the attribute word here and what's psychological attribute. So you can consider attribute as features, different types of features in an individual. ठीक है? And if you add psychological attribute, then you would be considering like in an individual interest, maybe intelligence, maybe values, maybe dominance, maybe submissiveness, maybe agreeableness, a lot of things which you can find out in an individual, or you can measure that in an individual. The right word is measure. You can assess. So these are psychological attributes. One more thing is added in this part, that is the assessment of psychological attributes. So let's understand the term first, assessment, now, since I have already cleared about psychological attributes. Now let me please read the definition as per the book, and I will help you to memorize this. This is very interesting definition. See what book says: assessment is the first step in understanding a psychological attribute. Like I said you, what is psychological attribute is. So assessment refers to the measurement of psychological attributes of individual and their evaluation. ठीक है? Often using multiple methods in terms of certain standards of comparison. So basically what you do in assessment, there are three parts. First, you measure the psychological attribute of individual, number one. Number second, once you get that information, you measure that, and then you have to evaluate it. The moment you will evaluate by different methods, multiple methods, and once you do that, then you can compare that with the norm table, with the group of information, data which is given in every test. आप उससे कंपेयर कर सकते हैं whatever attribute you have measured in an individual. That's what the definition say about, and you can memorize this in this way, like in three parts. Please repeat after me. Number one, that is measurement of psychological attribute. Once you measure it, then you have to evaluate the scoring, and once you evaluate the scoring, how will you do that? By using multiple methods, whichever one to you choose. After that, you can compare it. Simple as that. Now afterwards, what I would like to add, one important thing is that you can call an attribute only if you can able to measure it. Okay, so if you can't measure it, you can't call it attribute. Simple. चलो, इसके बाद you can basically classify this assessment into two parts, two types of assessment. You can say we have formal assessment, we have informal assessment. ठीक है जी? तो formal के अंदर what you can find is, it is objective, it is standardized, and it is organized. You guys know that what is an organized, like the data is organized, the test is organized properly. You can use that as it is. Second, again standardized, it means that you are going to use or you are going to convey the information of the test to the subject as it is mentioned in the test. You are not going to add anything. That is standardized. And the last one is objective, which means you can basically measure the responses into data form, into scoring form, so that you can actually interpret some meaning from it. This is what the formal assessment is. Now if I talk about the informal assessment, which means what? Number one, you can modify questions as per you. Number second, it is unstructured. And number three, that is it is based on subjective interpretation. Yes, my friends, आप एज ए काउंसलर यू कैन इंटरप्रेट सब्जेक्टिवली इन इनफॉर्मल असेसमेंट. ठीक है. सो दिस इज नाउ ऑल अबाउट द फॉर्मल एज वेल एज द इनफॉर्मल असेसमेंट. नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट एन एग्जाम्पल. ठीक है जी. एग्जाम्पल में द बुक इज गिवन यू अ वेरी नाइस एग्जाम्पल एंड आई एम ऑल्सो गोइंग टू यूज दैट द सेम टू सेव द टाइम ऑफ द वीडियो. ओके. Harish is dominant. Now, Harish is dominant. We are referring to the degree of dominance in Harish. Now, Harish, dominance is a kind of psychological attribute, and if you assess that, if you measure that, ठीक है, आपने हरीश का टेस्ट लिया और उनका डोमिनेंस लेवल हैज कम टू लाइक दिस मच हाई. ओ माय गॉड, ये तो किसी को मार देगा. लाइक दिस मच डोमिनेंसी इज देयर. तो दैट इज द साइकोलॉजिकल एट्रीब्यूट, ठीक है जी, ऑफ हरीश, which you have actually got from n test, from like किसी भी टेस्ट से आपने उसको पाया है. सो n टेस्ट मतलब कोई भी टेस्ट, ठीक है, जो भी टेस्ट आपने यूज़ किया है बेसिकली वहाँ से आपने डोमिनेंस का फैक्टर पाया है. ठीक है. दैट इज द साइकोलॉजिकल एट्रीब्यूट. आई होप यहाँ तक चीज़ें वी हैव गॉन थ्रू स्मूथली. ठीक है जी. अब हम बात करते हैं इसको कि उसके बाद करेंगे क्या. इसका अचार बना के खाएंगे असेसमेंट के बाद. You see, multiple purposes always are there. You can use these kinds of results in different ways. For example, we have got that ki Harish is dominant, and as per the scoring, just imagine, as per the scoring that the Harish is very dominant. Now, let's say if in a company wants a good leader who has that guts to speak something, and you know, he must have got some leadership quality, strong personality. So definitely this test is going to help. And what if Harish goes to that company? Harish will be hired, maybe. Why? Because of his high dominancy psychological attribute. तो इस तरीके से companies can use this kind of test. तो हम सोचें कि भैया only these companies can use this kind of test, no one else. No way, man. We can use this test in different ways. For example, let's say कि fine. If we want to know that why a particular student is not getting good scores in education, in exams, maybe. So you can assess intelligence. And intelligence, ठीक है, with the help of any assessment which you want to assess, which you want to take. ठीक है जी. और क्या क्या आप चीज़ें कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स से if a person has very bad relationship with his surrounding, for example family, for example friends, for example college friends, everywhere he goes he always unfit for the environment. So definitely you have to assess his personality. And how will you do that? With an assessment, with the help of an assessment. So that is also a psychological attribute which you can find out with the help of an assessment. ठीक है जी. So ये हमने समझा कि how we can use an assessment results in different forms, in different ways, in different areas, right? Now in the last one, psychological assessment definition is also there. I would like to share the meaning of that also. Please pay attention, friends. Psychological assessment uses systematic testing procedures. Oh, now they have written like systematic testing procedure. Systematic, why? Because there is a proper way which you are going to follow it. You are going to instruct the subject and you are going to get responses as well accordingly to that. So therefore it is systematic testing procedure. Two, why do you do that? Because you want to evaluate that person's ability, evaluate the behavior and evaluate personal qualities of individuals. So that's what all about the assessment and assessment of psychological attributes. I hope I have made this little easy for you at least to understand this topic. And if you have any doubt, make some noise. I mean, make some comments in the comments box so that I can help you out. ठीक है जी. चलो अब जाओ, मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो. बाय.